The motto, fight against, fight again, fight again, again.
La 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 la.
Hi there, fellows. I'm Pierre here from Arweave News. And again, you are watching me trying to not make a complete fool of myself while delivering you the last week's news. Setting new thresholds, appeasing expectations that lasted almost a year, and spreading knowledge about Arweave throughout the web. That's happened in a nutshell this week in the ecosystem. Would you like to know more? So, what's the state of the network? Well, this week marks the first time in Arweave's history when we encountered 5 days in a row with more than 2 million daily transactions. After a spike of over 4 million transactions on May 22, the counter never went below the mentioned threshold. Who knows, maybe this represents a new cycle for the network? We've been noticing lately a slow but steady accumulation of Arweave-related educational content. From coding tutorials to project explaining their features to community members discovering various parts of the ecosystem and sharing them with the world. Somehow, this stream of information grew to become a torrent in the past week, only to mention some. We had Open Web Foundry on full throttle with both a community spotlight and a deep dive featuring Arweave. We had Hobby Incubator continuing its spotlight of Web3 series where they are talking with Arweave project founders. We had Everfinance holding a Chinese speaking space on Twitter and many others. I mean, I don't know if the bear market is making people more talkative or something, but hell, whatever is happening, we appreciate it. Then we had Bundler Network. Apparently, Bundler is aiming to diversify its product range by announcing Heroes of History. Guess what? We don't know much about it. There is a motto, fight against censorship, preserve our world. There is a hint that the initiative will represent the continuation of the archival efforts currently ongoing on Arweave. There is a promise to deliver more context in the coming weeks. We suppose that they are trying to teach us an important lesson about history. It takes time for something to be fully revealed. Yep, they are enjoying teasing us, and we kinda hate it. Next, Coin Network, the project that's responsible, among others, for atomic NFT standards and for crazy fish related stuff. They released a paper describing content collectives, a concept that represents their take on a DAO that encapsulates both a collective of creators and the media they produce. Who knows, maybe this is what the entire NFT space needed right now. Now, let's talk about stealthy, sneaky product placement. Some days ago, Wall Street Journal wrote an article about the different use of NFTs as ways to combat censorship. They wrote about how people in China are preserving permanently their podcasts, but never mentioned the project responsible for that. And we get it. Sometimes, for various reasons, some things remain unsaid. Still, sometimes it's best to point out the culprit. Why? Because in this case, knowing exactly where you can save your content and make it uncensorable could be the only way to save it from oblivion. So here you have it. Permacast. Permacast. They are responsible for permanently preserving and offering access to audio files like podcasts, and more recently for preserving and retrieving video files too, like in vlogs like this one. What I'm doing here is technically a vlog, I don't know. Then we have Arweave that just released a new service. Are you too posh to create your own crypto wallet or buy crypto as a simple commoner? It's fine. Arweave Valet gets you covered. Now you can save your files on Arweave via Arweave without the need to know anything about Web3. The Arweave team will conduct basically everything on your behalf if you will ask them. Keep in mind, by everything, I mean everything related with storing content on Arweave. You still have to do your own laundry. Now, a little about the 7th Everpay NFT auction. We couldn't miss covering it. Especially because now we know it. The NFTs auctioned by Everfinance through Everpay carry utility in their initial stages of their PermaSwap DEX. It's all there in the white paper. The auction started on 27th of May and like usual a new artist is showcasing their work. If you hurry, it is still possible to catch it active. What are you waiting for? Next, Decentland and their path towards a decent Web3. Apparently, Decentland entered the last stages of development. They are delivering weekly consistent product updates. And I have to admit that I'm hooked by the lore that's engulfing the whole project, so I'm biased. Actually, it grew on me to an extent that made me do some dirty stuff. Literally. But that's a topic for another time. On a more serious note, one of the major updates they presented this week is the profile page for Arweave name service holders. And it looks pretty awesome, don't you think? Don't you? Don't you? Don't you? That's all for today, folks. See you next week. Until then, peace.